ordinary mind is the way. The subject will never change. Ordinary mind, we could ask, do we have more minds than just one mind? Ordinary mind, we can say that we have too many minds, but that's not really true. There is one mind only, or if you like, no mind at all. But from the everyday level, from the field of everyday life, even in Sesshin, of course, we experience many minds. Especially in Sesshin. This background noise is taken away so well that we are able to hear, experience how many minds we are actually occupying in this body. And they are not just harmless little voices necessarily, but they really take our hand and are leading us different kind of realms. That wheel of life, wheel of death, which we have in that room, there we have 6 different worlds. Some, like today, it is the case in many times we like to see them as a kind of psychological realms. Traditionally, they also are seen as a real places somewhere in this endless, boundless cosmos. But either way, they are real for someone who is in one of those realms. We all are. But of course, if we say that it's that we can understand them as psychological state, mindset, then we understand that during the one day already we can travel through the different landscapes. And this is something this is second day, or how do we count? Yes, second day of the Sesshin, and already we can tell that there's been different mind states, state of minds, different moods. We have signed up to this Sesshin, and it felt so good at home when I was signing up for this elite group. But when I'm here, I suddenly feel so worthless, and what am I doing here? Every other person here is doing much better. I don't even know how to meditate. So those feelings comes and goes. They truly comes and goes. But when we are there, almost like we could call it hellish realm, or a realm of self-doubts, or feeling worthless, or feeling so confused or tired that we cannot possibly continue this zazen, then it's very real. And it would be a little bit maybe stupid to deny that, or just say that it's not real. I don't know Western people, I don't know Asian people so well, but here in the Western world we are so accustomed that we have our moods, and so we have to take care of course. We just cannot wipe them under the carpet, something, and then pretend that nothing is happening. That also might cause some problems. But this is very interesting thing, this whole picture. At the same time, it's simple and clear, and then at the same time it's full of these different worlds and laws that are in each and every realms. We have to follow those laws and rules. We are not free in a way. Zen practice is quite unique in a sense that it kind of points more or less directly to the mind, one ordinary mind. Many other Buddhist schools, maybe they first collects more information or knowledge about things, psychological things in Buddhism or in human minds, and different states and different practices, and you kind of build up this knowledge-based picture, and then you finally start to work with it step by step. It's not, of course, uncommon here in Zen, but my understanding, which is of course limited, is that Zen is pointing just this directly here. And then, of course, we don't need so much knowledge, one could think, in order to experience just this. And some people debates, some Zen people even debates that that's a misunderstanding, that actually we should know many things before we can practice. And some Zen professionals are telling that no, it's not necessary. We just become this one simple present moment totally, and from there we can study, and then we will understand all those words a bit differently, if we even understand it. This you have heard probably Kodo Sawaki Roshi. He was this Soto monk. I'm not going to talk him now, but just one line, or one of his ideas, or it's not the idea, but what he used to say or repeat was, all Buddhism is a footnote to Zazen. And I think it's a very, very well said. He was, of course, very famous, and some of his Dharma brothers and heirs, that they just advocated this simple, direct Zazen as all you need. There it is, like Hakuin Sensei's praise is also telling same wisdom. Zazen, only Zazen. But here I am talking some words anyway, but I don't think I can really destroy much. But this Zazen we are practicing here is this medicine or source for this ordinary mind to become more clear, vividly open, alive here. It is so simple practice that we probably not always believe that it works. There has to be something extra, something else, some other technique or some. But maybe that's also one mind just whispering there, one of those many minds. Maybe just too simple, maybe too direct for this little mind whispering there. Maybe we want more action first, more play, before we really want to become just this moment. I don't know, just came to my mind. Maybe some part of us already knows this. We already intuitively, we know that it is nothing else except what it is in front of our eyes, so to say. But we want to believe, we want to think that there is still something else, something a little bit more interesting than just this. This is quite okay if we make this room nice and we build a nice altar and if we have a nice food and so maybe then it's okay. But many oftentimes this is not the case. We feel tired, or food we think is not exactly what I would like to have, or my robe is not as shiny as this other guy sitting there. And then we go and we travel into this fantasy world where we can have everything we want. And if we look at this realm of gods or devas, diva of course also, those gods, they truly has a world and life that many people would, is just admiring. This is exactly what most of us would like to have. the world that gods are living in. Endless amount of many kinds of fun, and not just fun but also interesting things going on there. You can practice even there. You can play music, you can have good hobbies, many things that you would never be able to do if you are not rich, super rich or something like that. So it is actually fairly fabulous place. But as you probably know, they are telling in Buddhism that if you have too good, if things are too good, you are not that interested in maybe to sit down and just experience what it is right now without putting in things or taking out. So human world is a very good combination of many things, ups and downs, laughing and crying and having some godlike moments as well as hellish moments. And then it's good to ask, what the hell is this? What is this? In Doksan I told one person something, and now I thought that maybe I'll try to say it again, because I saw no harm was not happened any harm for this person, but it was just this kind of spontaneous explanation or whatever you call it. But it was also it's a kind of an image, and we see if I can at all repeat it, but it is something like, I actually used this kotsu as an example there, and I explained how there is we can imagine some sort of aura around it. And now I am not talking about any kind of glorious shining aura, because it's a special tool, not at all. But it's just an example of, it's a stick, wooden stick. But these many minds we also have, we kind of not quite see this simple object as it is. Instead of seeing clearly just that wooden stick, there is this aura sort of around it, and in that aura we see kind of overlapping worlds, ideas, images, pictures, thoughts, ideas about what we are facing here. It is a kind of a lazy way to see. It's a little bit lazy. It's a little bit blurry all the time. Every one of those many minds we have are having their own little commentator, and when we are living this so-called ordinary mind life, which is not exactly ordinary mind in the sense of this koan, for example. But what is ordinary for so-called ordinary people is that these many minds are simultaneously there all the time. And that's how we are so used to, of course, live. Always when we are turning our heads and facing something, we don't see clearly what it is. We see many things simultaneously. It kind of leaves all the doors open. All the doors open, all the ideas open for the separate self to have the feeling, to keep up this feeling of freedom and independence. I'm still free. I have many options. I have so many options all the time. But when we come to Sesshin, for example, we don't have so many options. They are limited. Only for a few little things we go over again and again. And that makes us a bit uncomfortable sometimes, like in real life. But we are experienced enough. That's why we are here. We know what it is, so-called out there. We know how it works. And maybe be a bit tired for that. Maybe we now ready, curious, burning need to stop that. Every time when we sit down in Zazen posture, of course this works if we are doing something else, but this Zazen posture is a very, very good example. We can, every time when we sit down and take the posture, that's it, there it is, just there it is. Authentic. Every time it's completely perfectly there. It's not so that after day something or after 10 years of doing this, it becomes perfect. No, it is perfect already. It never will be more perfect than it is just now. So every time when we sit down, we take this posture. And step by step, we learn, we practice. Step by step, breath by breath. Breath, one breath at a time, we learn. We learn to clean or wipe away this aura around the wooden stick, around of the wooden floor, around the paper wall, around this practice, around any ideas. And finally, breath by breath, things becomes more clear. Outline becomes more obvious, more visible. It truly is this wooden stick, it's nothing else. Same with everything. It's a blue sky. It's a nice cup of water actually. This is a nice. Just what I needed. This ordinary mind is the way, as it was told, has also worse. Hundreds of flowers in spring, the moon in autumn, a cool breeze in summer and snow in winter. If your mind is not clouded with unnecessary things, no season is too much for you. Especially this winter, for sure. We are blessed with the snow. I don't know, but maybe someone will in close future make some academic research how this winter with so much snow affected people's minds. We have this corona year, but then we have this therapeutic snow. Maybe we will see some research how people became more healthy because of the snow. What I want to say is simply that this snow is, we are so used to have snow, and now when it is here, it just feels so good. It's very real, it's very clear. No special thoughts around it, it's so direct. And then it's this line that if your mind is not clouded with unnecessary things, and it's a kind of, I think it's an interesting sentence. Because what are those unnecessary things anyway? There are none. All is necessary. Until it's not anymore. But just now, this all is necessary. But of course, if it's so that we make it, or we try to change it somehow, it's like those seasons, 4 seasons, we people have moods, different moods. Not necessarily so serious ones than I mentioned early in the start of this talk, but like that we really are in hell. That's a little bit another thing than just a mood. But mood, I mean like we feel a little bit down or a little bit like slightly gray. Not so inspired. But that's also okay. So it's not unnecessary thing. So maybe that's what I see now, is that things becomes like a problem when we get too much troubled, when we get too much worried about some details. They will change. Everything will change. So even if just now a little bit grey, not so inspired, look, that. It's exactly clearly what it is. And then suddenly it's not anymore a bad thing. Actually, it's quite fun. No season is too much for you. So we use these different practices we have just to make this picture more clear. We concentrate using all we have, body, mind. Just concentrate. One breath. And then next breath. And by doing this, things becomes clear by itself. Or they are clear all the time. Like Ryokan, this poet, Zen monk Ryokan, when he died, he left behind a poem, as it was a custom then. And this poem says, "What shall I leave as a keepsake? The cherry blossoms of spring, the mountain," I didn't check how to pronounce this, "the mountain warbler's song, the crimson maple leaves of autumn." What else can you actually leave behind? Of course, a pile of trash. I'm afraid that's what I will do. But other than that, this living room full of cherry blossoms of spring, snow in the winter. This is our living room. This is what we leave behind. When Choshu, in this koan, Choshu asked Nansen, "What is the way?" And then Nansen gives his answer. And he's asking that what if he is not trying for it, seek after it? And Nansen is answering, it's not a matter of knowing or not knowing. Knowing is illusion, not knowing is blankness. If you attain to this way of no doubt, it is as boundless as vast space. So how can there be right or wrong in the way? And Joshua was suddenly enlightened. Later on, Joshua told people that after this, how can there be right or wrong in the way, boundless sky? After his enlightenment, he told people that he was suddenly ruined and homeless. It's an interesting, beautiful way to put it. Homeless. He became homeless. What a freedom. So, there is ordinary mind and there is ordinary mind. Which one you will choose? Ordinary mind with clouds, a lot of explanations and ideas, is not freedom. It's not free. But the ordinary mind that is just this one breath in this Zendo right now is the ordinary mind. So may all beings attain the Buddha way.